announcing that they would no longer release any more files. They've only released 3 new pages from the many, many volumes of evidence that they collected. And now they say that, we've looked into it. It's not really clear why this is. A lot of people have speculated it has to do with President Trump's own relationship with Jeffrey Epstein because they were friends back in the 1990s, but there haven't been any credible accusations against Trump in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. There's still some ways that we could see part of the Epstein files. There's some congressional committees that have issued subpoenas to the Justice Department asking for some of these records. If there really aren't any big national secrets or nothing classified in these files, then it really raises the question of why the government will release them right now. They have in their possession and they could make it public. We can see for ourselves what's in there and what's not. If you want to read more of our coverage of the Epstein files, head to businessinsider.com. I've spoken to 4 people who've seen the Epstein files, and they told me there's nothing in them that suggests he was a spy. So the people who I spoke to who've seen the Epstein files said that there was nothing in there that related to any intelligence agency. There's nothing in there that is related to some kind of national secret or be classified, or that intelligence agencies would even be interested in very much. Which of course raises the question of why is it that the government doesn't release the Epstein files to the public. There are also other sort of key details. For example, Ghislaine Maxwell, his associate, is the daughter of Robert Maxwell, this British media baron who was seen to be close to the Mossad and MI6 and other intelligence agencies. Epstein was friends with Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel, who led a military intelligence agency. Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of these connections in politics and media, and it does seem like some of his friends had connections with intelligence agencies.
Okay. So it's gathering intelligence. Part of that is about corrupting subjects, influential people. They could be even business people that prior to then had absolutely no connection to any country's military or economical structure other than being just business people. They just happened to be dealing in commodities that Trump and others felt were interesting. If you look at Prince Andrew, he has basically been described as someone that was doing illicit business with the Chinese. He was doing dodgy deals for himself, for the Queen. So in other words, Prince Charles keeps his nose clean. Prince Andrew, Princess Anne, and Princess Diana and all the others, they do the dirty work. Well, that's what Epstein was. He was the one that did all the dirty work along with Ghislaine. So they're all connected to the UK, the USA, France, Germany, all the NATO countries. Okay, and this used to be called the Crown Hotel. I don't know if it still is, but it looks like it's still quite cheap. Called City Hotel. I'd been there before because I damaged the wallpaper. I was abducted, drugged, abducted, and taken there. Okay, I'm also connected as a child to the Rosemount Viaduct murders, where an individual called Khan, I can't remember if he was the victim or the murderer, but the murderer is known to me. He also did service in the French Foreign Legion. Okay? And I was at Oak Bank at the time, maybe Cobble Hall. But a guy turned up at the Bonaccord swim baths looking for some help because he got into a lot of trouble. I believe he mentioned money and he needed something sorted out. So I also recognized the person when he was younger, even though I felt for a while he resembled Keanu Reeves. I did actually recognize him as a younger person. The person that murdered the guy at Rosemount Viaduct. So let's go. So here we go. That's another one. Another sex offender that is involved in abusing me, trafficking me as well, and attempted to murder me and covering up for Prince Andrew, another VIP sex offender. Okay, so I'm certain that's at the Crown Hotel because of this thing. But I always thought it was kind of like a dome, but I could sort that I don't want to record for too long, but he does the dirty work. So that's the train. So you come out of there and along here somewhere. So it'd be no surprise if it was a Crown Hotel because of Crown Street there, not far away. So yeah, that looks like it there. But I was in the room below that, and I never realised I was there a couple of nights, and then I realised that I was in the room below, and then I went upstairs and up these spiral steps and realised there was a room up there with a television and a video recorder, and I believe there's also there was a door leading to somewhere else. And the people that run it knew me. I did vaguely recognise, and one of them was involved in my abduction. Jackie Clayton from Partners in Advocacy. She was also involved in my abduction and attempted murder. But every time I go there, I leave a trail. I either mark the walls, draw on the walls, damage the property slightly, but not only superficially, like scrape the wallpaper or use UV ink on them. So I do recall being there, and I was abducted. That would have been the furthest they would have trafficked me during the 1990s that I'm aware of, Aberdeen. And the police Scotland are already aware of some ethnic minorities involved, and they are fully aware of what happened to me, so they cannot be trusted. If you look here, I mean, see these baths, there used to be bathhouses here for people that needed to use the public baths. Well, come on. They used to use the public baths. I'm certain it was here. It was along here. Yeah, here. You go down. They were used by homosexuals as well, and lesbians and other sex workers, but they were also planning to murder me. I was in the hostel. I believe it was on Crown Street also. I've forgotten where it is. Yeah, it should be around here. Crown Street. There was a hostel around here, but it's changed now. I don't know if it's still there. They might have demolished it. And they said you can't have a bath here. You'll have to use the public ones, and that was the ones there. And there was somebody planning on murdering me because he knew he'd done stuff to me as a child in care, and that he knew about me as well. So that could have been Can's gang as well. He was on Elm Row. He was also in South America and also run the marathon in New York in the 1980s.